Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a patch note review video. I am Sylphan, and we are taking a look at the newly released version 3.0.1 with Narbash and some interesting other changes. It's small, so it's going to be quick. Really not that much to it. So basically we have the new hero in the game, Narbash. Some few little things change, match length, here in this next patch, and also the new weekly card pack. Definitely, ladies and gentlemen, go and vote for these card packs because, I mean, really, they're trying to make it as tailored to the community as possible. We get to vote on what we want, so go and do that always. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, the new hero is Narbash. Here's a new skin for him, but he is a support caster that's melee. He's going to be a melee support caster dealing physical damage with the affinities of order and growth. He specializes in crowd control and buffing his team as he charges into the fight. His thunk ability, that's the one in the release video where he throws his mallet at the enemy Gideon there, and it's a singular targeted stun that seems to work pretty well. Obviously it doesn't damage, it kills that Gideon there. That's going to be very powerful. I mean, even in terms of Gideon, knocking him out of his ultimate, a lot of stuff you're going to be able to do with that. He's going to be really good, again, for controlling the enemy team, securing those kills. His March ability provides him with a movement speed aura. So I think that is the one that is a blue aura. There's a few different ones where he does, it's kind of hard to tell. I think there's one with a blue aura, and I think that's going to be it. That strikes me as being a graphic that I would put to a movement speed aura. So that's going to be very strong. I'm imagining some compositions here, some team compositions, where increasing movement speed is going to be just devastating. You have some high engaged targets that are just, yeah. I'll be releasing some videos about some team compositions coming up in the future. And then he also has a health regeneration aura provided by a Song of My People ability. Very first health regeneration ability in the game. First healing hero. I mean, this is just one ability, but he can heal people. The very first person. Very excited. I am very interested in focusing on this. As far as I understand, getting your own health regeneration in your cards will not affect this aura. Please let me know if I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong, because I would love to stack the snot out of this ability and make it so that, you know, when you use it at the right time, you know, in the middle of a team fight, in like literally the middle of the duration of a team fight, you can just out-sustain your enemy, or the enemy team, and really, so there you go. That's my take on that. Narbash causes a ruckus with his ultimate Crash Bang Boom, slowing enemies in an AoE and finishing his performance with the knockup. You see that right at the end of the video when you go and look at his release video there. That's going to be strong. An AoE slow, I mean, combined with his AoE movement speed. Yeah, and then there's a knockup at the end. Goodness. You're going to have some interesting things. I'm going to have, again, like I just said, some videos with team compositions that are going to really work with this. I have a few ideas, maybe on having a certain focus of hero builds that I do during a patch that's kind of maybe tailored to the current meta that I think would work well. We're gonna see, so definitely subscribe. Stay tuned for that as well. So here's his first skin as well, Ginger Jam's Narbash skin. Ginger, red beard, red mohawk there. Honestly, it doesn't really look that much different. I mean, just at first glance, like, it's just like kind of coloring differences, and you know, I think that's different. Oh, you just look right here. Yeah, so not much, really. So it's just a color change. I really like the new Grux, that Nerubian, whatever it's called, the kind of scarab thing, because it actually changes the appearance of the hero. So, but this is still cool, nonetheless. And, you know, I'm not going to touch on that because it's right here. And next is the actual release notes, but I mean, really what we really care about is this, or primarily this. Their addresses to reduce match lengths. What they are doing is they are reducing the resistances on Tier 1 towers and reducing the health on Tier 2 towers. So the Tier 1 tower reduced the basic energy physical resistance from 65 to 44. So that is the very first towers that you come by on the enemy team's base. And then the Tier 2 towers are the inner ones. Reduced health from 2500 to 2100. I have an interesting theory here when I'm just thinking about this as to why they did it this way. The Tier 1 towers primarily are obviously damaged in the early game. Now, characters are doing less damage. Fighters are less likely to actually engage hard on these towers just because they're weak. They're weak in terms of health. You know, not dying in the early game is very important. So it's left to rangers and casters. They don't do a lot of damage. So what is going to affect that damage the most in terms of kicking it up a notch, increasing the damage that is mostly done to early game towers, and that is reducing the resistances. So this is basically, I'm not entirely sure how the math works, but this is basically 21 more damage you're going to be doing here in the early game. I don't think that is how the scaling will work. I think it's probably going to result in more like 10. I'm not sure, like more like 10 damage per auto attack that you do. And obviously that affects spells as well quite a bit. But I think this is a good change because this is probably what is affecting the damage done to towers the most. This, I think, is really, really, really powerful versus just the health, right? Say I do 50 damage in the early game, which is a fair amount already, and then you reduce it by, I don't know the math here, but you reduce it by 50%, right? Well, that's 25. Whereas this, maybe you're only reducing it by a third. Well, increasing your damage from 25 to whatever a third of 50 is, 15 plus 25, so 40. That doesn't make sense. Anyways, wow. This is going to be a better increase than just reducing the health. Now, why do they reduce the health here? I'm thinking it's because Tier 2 towers, you're in the mid game, and people are starting to do more damage. You have a bigger pool of damage, like you're just doing more damage, period. So reducing the physical resistances will just take a tiny little chunk out of your damage. Like it's really not going to reduce the or increase the damage onto the tower that much, but reducing its overall health at this point would be better because I mean here, what, mid game people are probably doing about 100 damage an auto attack, so it's 5 less auto attacks. I think that's significant amount, whereas this, you're basically, I would think this is going to increase your basic attack damage on the tower. I don't know, probably 25%. I don't know, 50%. I'm not sure, but I think this is the correct choice here. I think this is a better change to change on the towers, in the Tier 1 towers, and here on the Tier 2. What this also does is it affects, because the Tier 2 towers will have this amount of damage, it will keep supports and people that aren't building damage from doing a lot of damage to the tower. So I think this has a very high amount of, it has a high effect on low damaging heroes. That's what this says. And in the early game, lots of people have little damage, so reducing the resistances is a better effect. I think that was too long to spend talking about that, but let me know if I'm thinking properly. I just want to understand why they did that. So, some other small things: removed invisible collision on one of the middle lane shadow pads. Not sure I encountered that. The Orb Prime reduced the respawn timer from 10 minutes to 8 minutes. I thought that it was a bit long. So that's good. And reduce the health from 20,000 to 17,000. Past few games I've been playing, you're on the Orb Prime for a long time. Like it just felt too long. So that is a nice change indeed. Here are the weekly card cards. I don't have Drink the Spirit, so that's going to be a nice one. Maybe I can pick up some small things here with the heroes, but there's a few things in here that I really liked. AFK players no longer count toward surrender votes. I think I've come across that a few times, so that's going to be a nice. Report a player removed from escape menu. Data from player ratings observed to be more reliable. Plus also reporting a player during the middle of a game. I mean, I guess you can do that while you're dead, but the more options there are, or the least options there are to take you away from the game, I guess that's a good one as well. And this used to be good, but now that I have my new graphics card, don't really care, but this is good for everybody involved here. Getting everybody to enjoy the game as much as possible with the lowest, that are using low and low settings. There you guys have it, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to make it pretty quick. I ramble on, try to explain myself, try to, I don't know, share intellectual process with you guys, so hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you dislike it, please share it with the community, and of course subscribe. I have lots of content coming. Hopefully do this every day, and if you learned something or simply enjoyed it, I want to do it for you in the future as well. Social media stuff on the next screen. Until next time.